All right, everyone. Wanted to do a video real quick on winter fishing. So winter fishing obviously depends on where you're at, where you live, and it also depends on what bodies of water you're fishing. Are you fishing rivers? Are you fishing lakes? Are you fishing shallow water, deep water? Because each one of those are going to have different water temperatures. They're going to have different types of vegetation still alive in those different bodies of water. So first I'll cover Florida. So I kind of go across the U.S. and talk about different areas of the U.S. But first I'll start with Florida. So as of right now, it's 63 degrees in Florida. So here we are. Let's see, today's what, December 23rd. So we're right before Christmas, and we still are in the 60s. So water temperatures are still in the 70s in a lot of these lakes. And you got to think too, our bodies of water are shallow, and they have grass. They have vegetation that can stay warm and keep the fish warm. You also have a lot of debris floating around the water that they can hide up under. The debris on top of the water is going to heat up a lot faster, especially midday. So those fish will tuck underneath that vegetation. So that's why here in Florida we do punching, we do flipping, we do a lot of that, because what we do is we're targeting those bass that are backing up against those heat sources, whether it be a log in the water, whether it be some buggy whips or some kind of vegetation that's heating up from the sun. So what I'm getting at is, if you are targeting fish, if it's cold outside, and you also have the bluebird sky, the sun's up, and you have nice warm weather, you can almost bet those fish are going to be backing up against those heat sources. They're going to be tucking under those mats. It's a little bit warmer under the mats, and that's where you need to target those fish. If you are targeting offshore fish and brush piles, shell bars, or any of those different types of areas, I like to slow down. I do a more of a finesse style, maybe drop shot, drag and worm. I may throw a jerk bait, because right now what happens is the water temperature is dropping, especially when you have these cold snaps. Right now, before this cold front comes in, it's supposed to get in the 20s this weekend. Before the cold front, you definitely can catch some big fish. They're going to be feeding up before the cold front comes in. But once that cold front comes in, especially here in Florida, the fish get lockjaw. And a lot of that is due to the feeding up. They'll feed up, and bass don't need to eat every day. They can go a day or two without having to eat. So a lot of people, like, the fish are just turned off. It isn't they turned off, they're lethargic, and they've already fed up before the storm got there. So take all that consideration if you have a tournament coming up and it's warm weather, you're smashing the fish here in Florida, and then all of a sudden cold weather comes in, and you probably were catching them good pre-fishing because they were feeding up before the storm came in. And then all of a sudden now the storm's there for tournament day, which always happens on a Saturday. That storm front's there. You gotta think finesse. You gotta think the fish are more than likely still going to be there. You just have to find them and what they're tucked up against. It might be that vegetation I was talking about, or some kind of structure. But I like to throw weightless Senkos. I like to dead stick them. Also like to go to a wacky rig presentation. I may use the jerk bait, as I mentioned, and do a jerk, pause, and I might pause for a full minute. I might just kind of look around and twitch, stop. And when you go to twitch one more time, they'll hit it. Flukes work very well. Think very, very slow baits, twitching baits. Those minnows are going to be more of a twitching phase. So you definitely capitalize on that and make it look more natural in the water and catch those fish. So that's pretty much Florida in a nutshell. And again, those offshore bass, you really can produce some big ones. But what I've found, especially the last 2 years, fishing these cold weather tournaments, what these fish will do is they'll stay in that deeper water, and then they'll move up on the shallow water real quick. They'll like, I've even caught them on top water when the water temperature is at 60 degrees. And what those bass are doing is they'll move up to the shallows real quick. They'll feed up, and then they'll move back out to that deeper water. So you can kind of get them in that transitional phase. Something else that's also going on here in Florida is the spawn. So you also have to take that in consideration. So you got to look at the moon phase. So where are we at in the moon phase? Are the fish going to be pre-spawn, about to move up? So are they staging in mouths of creeks? Are they staging ready to come in and start spawning? Are they going to be in the middle of the canals? Because sometimes you'll catch them as they're moving in to the canals. Those bigger fish will be in the middle of canals. Or are you targeting post-spawn fish that are coming out of those canals and are feeding up? They're out there chasing the bait balls, chasing the fish. So, or you could find the fish sitting on the beds. So there might be a cold front come in, but you still, the fish could be up there on the beds. So if you're watching social media right now, you're seeing a lot of big fish, big bags still being caught here in Florida, even though we're in the winter phase. So hopefully that helps you out with your winter fishing. So as far as the deeper water ledge fishing, the deeper lakes, here, I'll stop it right here. I'll go to part 2. I'll follow up part 2. So that's pretty much your Florida in a nutshell. And follow for part 2. We'll talk about the other lakes.